Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is speaking to Tinus Jordan, the Exploration Manager of Exploration Geology Consultants South Africa. Tinus, how should we in South Africa go about restarting the era of exploration again?
It is a tough question because we've let it slip. It's becoming very expensive to explore, but there's still the potential to realize what is sitting in the databases. Many of us, our generation and older, remember what we did and where we were, and that we never did anything. And I think it's time now to follow up on that. The commodities that we need are those that are required in the electronics industry, in the electric vehicles, that includes copper mainly, and that's becoming a big issue. And also the metals that are required in the energy sector, including renewable power, nuclear power, renewable power, all of those. Copper is one of those that's going to be in much demand. The use of copper alone is going to quadruple. The rare earth elements are required in the electronics industry, and we can't have enough of those. Just to touch on barite, there's no real need for us, but barite, I believe, heard in the last few weeks, is going to be in high demand for the fusion reactors, not the fission reactors that we have at the moment. Graphite obviously is required for industry as a whole, but also required for the refueling of 650 nuclear reactors, fission reactors, for the next 40 to 60 years. And I'm not sure we have that supply. Nickel cobalt, the battery industry, again, and there, I'm not sure where we stand in South Africa. I'm sure there must be many dumps, etc., that can be reworked for these commodities. Lithium, we all know, it's not a common commodity in South Africa. So there is not a huge future for us here. There are huge deposits elsewhere, Bolivia, etc., even Argentina. Tungsten, obviously, is a hard metal which is needed for the defense industry, but also in the nuclear and the power industry, the building of reactors. And then obviously iron ore. I wouldn't even bother with uranium because there's going to be no real need for it. And about 100 years worth of uranium has been proved up worldwide. And that will provide enough uranium in the current configuration for the entire duration. The commodities that we're talking about can be found probably in the bushveld mostly, and surrounding early Proterozoic and middle Proterozoic metamorphic rocks. We have the potential source for these metals. I know it'll be difficult to pinpoint, and that's where the problem comes in, that they're not easy to find. And when you do find them, they're very difficult to prove up as being economic. And that is where we stand as far as the commodities in South Africa are concerned, the ones that we feel should be chased hard. We certainly have the skills base, there's no question about that, in the private sector, in the council, at the universities, and these guys are training their protege, but we are losing a lot of these people. I would say every week, not every month or every year. I hear weekly of people leaving because there's just nothing for them to do here. Nobody's putting money into the country. It's not just the universities that are giving adequate training, it's also the in-house training schools. Very few people realize how much training they provide for their staff. And then, of course, the technology that we require to service the mining industry is there. We've had it all along. We built some of the world's biggest winders, cables, communications systems, etc., etc. You couldn't wish for more. What is going to be a real challenge in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be the fact that we may get left behind in the fourth industrial revolution, because we are not exposed to the technology there, A, and B, we don't have people to train us in that field and to train the youngsters. So we sort of are learning on the fly, which is not a good thing. We're a bit isolated in that respect. Most of the technology is secretive, sitting in little labs here, there, everywhere, dotted all over the world. But the most important asset that we have here is the database that we built up over, say, a century of commodities that we have that can be used for certain needs. And I was involved in many of these, that German universities come in and test their equipment here, because it's the best place to test your skills. So I am concerned, very concerned, but still, I think we have the people to get us involved there, and we can do a good job. I'm pretty sure of that, if we do it now.
And do you think we should open our doors to allow people from surrounding countries into South Africa to try and help us with the skills and all the other aspects we need with the geological activity?
Indeed. And I'm talking specifically about exploration here. I've worked in Africa since 1993, almost permanently, in and out, many projects, West Africa, Mali, Senegal, Ouagadougou, in Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and surrounding countries, Central African Republic, just over the border, nearly got arrested there. But we are not aware in South Africa of the level of skills that are residing in those countries. I must say, I was very surprised. And if I could put a company together, an exploration company, I would certainly look there first, because the skills that they have are on a par or slightly ahead of us. And why? Because they've picked it up from the French. They've all done MSCs, French universities, even Morocco, and they've learned the best. For remote, in the field of remote sensing, drilling techniques, they are hardworking people, and they can be put anywhere. They find their feet and they get going.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly, speaking to Tinus Jordan, the exploration manager of Exploration Geology Consultants.